campuses, and you can find out all the specifics by going to christmasatcompass.com. And now let's enter into our time of worship.
God of Abraham, you're the God of covenant, faithful promises. Time and time again, you have proven, do just what you said. Though the storm may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting, same I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me, yeah. History can prove there's nothing you can't do. You're faithful and true. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting, same I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope in firm foundation. He'll never let me down. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope in firm foundation. He'll never let me down. He'll never let me down. Oh, great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting, same I'll praise your name. Oh, great is your faithfulness to me.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Nathan Lewis, and I get to serve on staff as the Next Steps pastor out at our Roanoke campus. And look, before we dive into our scripture for today, I want to tell you a story. A few weeks ago, we celebrated Thanksgiving, and my family and I had the opportunity to visit my parents who live on the border of Alabama and Georgia. In this little kind of small town. Everybody was really excited about it. My oldest son, Bennett, is 5 years old, and he loves going to my mom and dad's place because they live in a small town area. Like I said, it has tons of woods and space for adventures. I love it because my parents live on a golf course and I get to play golf nonstop while the kiddos play with Mimi and Pawpaw, and my wife Sarah gets to hang out by herself and read and shop online. It is truly a relaxing and recharging time for us. But this year didn't start off the best because for some reason my oldest Bennett got really scared of the dark the first night that we were there. And I think I had maybe been asleep for like an hour, maybe at the most, before I hear our bedroom door open and I feel this presence like standing right next to our bed. And I pop up and I see Bennett standing there and I say, "Bud, what are you doing?" And he replies, I'm really scared of the dark and I can't sleep." Now look, one thing you need to know about Bennett is that for some reason that I cannot wrap my brain around, this kid hates to sleep. He will think of any and every excuse to get out of taking a nap or staying asleep in his bed. So honestly, my initial reaction to this scared of the dark thing wasn't the best. "Bud, you're fine. There's no reason for you to be scared. Go back to your room and go to sleep, son." To which he proceeded to argue with me, No, I'm really scared, Daddy." So I hop out of bed and I walk him back to his room, which is right across the hallway from our room that we're staying in, by the way. And I put him back to bed. I think everything is great. Not 30 minutes later, this kid is back in our room saying the same thing. "Daddy, it's really dark in my room and I'm too scared to sleep." "Bud, you're fine. Go to sleep. Do not come in here again. You understand me?" But I need somebody to sleep in there with me." I jumped out of bed. I'm furious. I take him back to his room. I lay him down in his bed and I say, "Bud, you're fine. Go to sleep." "But it's so dark in here. Can you sleep in here with me?" And so just to get him to stop and to hopefully get some sleep, I caved. I gave in. The room he sleeps in at my parents' place has 2 twin beds, and so I put him back in his bed and I crawl into the 6'2", 200-pound man, climbs into the twin bed next to him, and finally we go to sleep. Except not, because 2 more times in the middle of the night this kid wakes up because he's scared. Both times he pops up out of nowhere, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy!" Which scares me half to death, right? And I pop up from a dead sleep. What, Bud? What's wrong?" "I'm just making sure you're still there, Daddy, because I'm really, really scared of the dark." Now look, I wish that I could tell you that I handled this whole thing well, that we woke up the next morning, I laughed it off, everything was great, I went and played some golf and everybody had fun and the rest of our Thanksgiving vacation was fantastic. But that's not how it went down. I was exhausted. I was infuriated. I was so frustrated. I barely got any sleep, and I was so incredibly angry and infuriated at this kid from being up all hours of the night because he was afraid of the dark. Now look, here's the deal. Before you get all judgy on me and everything, okay? The truth of the matter is there was no reason for him to be afraid. None. And look, I tried to explain this to a 5-year-old, and I know how futile that is, but I tried to explain this to him multiple times throughout the night. "Look, Bud, you don't have anything to be afraid of. You have a special nightlight in your room that you don't have in your room back at home." He sleeps with a sound machine. In this particular sound machine, it turns different colors, and it's really great. And this night, we had it on yellow, and we had even turned it up brighter than what he has at home. And so I said, "Bud, your sound machine is brighter than it usually is at home." I said, buddy, there's more people in this house than when we're at home. Mimi and Papa are here. Everything is great. And look, buddy, we are right across the hall from you. That's not the case at our house in DFW. We are not right across the hall from him. There was absolutely no reason at all for this kid to be afraid of the dark. None. But then I read our scripture for today, and I got punched right in the gut. Because how many times do I do the exact same thing that he does? How many times do I become crippled by the darkness that surrounds me? Let me read our scripture with you real quick for today. It says this in John chapter 1, verses 4 and 5. It says, "The Word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it." The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. What a verse. I love what N.T. Wright says about this. He's writing about this section of scripture, and he reminds us that Jesus is the Word that's referenced here. Just a few verses earlier on, John tells us the word Jesus was there from the very beginning with an integral hand in creation. Jesus was there when God called light into existence out of the darkness, when he ordered the surrounding chaos. And then N.T. Wright writes this. He says, "The word Jesus challenged the darkness before creation, and now challenges the darkness that is found tragically within creation itself. The Word is bringing into new being the new creation in which God says once more, 'Let there be light.'" Let's be real. This year has been one of the darkest years most of us can remember. A global pandemic has turned our world upside down. There have been enormous amounts of layoffs, deaths, racial tension, an election that could rival any reality TV show in the history of mankind, businesses closing their doors for good, some churches closing their doors for good. And so when you look at 2020, it doesn't seem to be such a huge stretch to be completely and totally overwhelmed and scared by the darkness that surrounds us. So maybe for many of us, we need to simply remember and see the light at the end of the tunnel today. Maybe, like my son, there's no reason for us to really and truthfully be afraid of the dark. Because as cheesy as this is going to sound, we have a special nightlight in the light of the world. He has come, and he is closer than you think. It's what we get to celebrate each and every year at Christmas, the coming of the light of the world. Look, our sound machine is brighter than normal. It seems as though the global church is being attacked like no other. But look at the numbers. Churches are being shut down, quote unquote. Everything is going to hell in a handbasket. But look at the numbers. More people are engaging with the gospel than ever before. People are right across the hall, surrounding us like never before. The darkness is not winning. But look, honestly, even if we look at the light at the end of the tunnel, it's probably not going to go away instantly. It took Bennett 2 more nights after that first initial night. It was our first night there. It took him 2 more nights after this whole thing to finally be able to just go to sleep and to finally rest without being completely overwhelmed and afraid of the dark. It's probably not going to be immediate for you and for me either. But if we remind ourselves over and over and over again that there's a special nightlight, our sound machine is brighter than normal, people are here surrounding us right across the hallway from us, then in the midst of the darkness, remind yourself of the light that continues to shine, the light the darkness can never extinguish. If we do that over and over again, then maybe soon you and I will actually be able to fully rest, that even in the midst of the chaos that surrounds us, we can experience peace. Let me leave you with one final reminder from a theologian named Frederick Bruner. He writes this. He writes, Gilbert Chesterton once said that if one studies church history carefully, there are about 5 different times when it looks as if the church has gone to the dogs. But that in the end, all 5 times, it was the dogs who died. The Word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. I love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Well, thanks for joining us. Hey, we hope you'll join us for Christmas at Compass, and you can find out all the details on all the platforms where the services will be held, all the campuses, all the times by going to christmasatcompass.com. Thanks again for joining us. You have a Merry Christmas.